The Christmas party was supposed to be simple: ugly sweaters, cheap champagne, bad karaoke. The usual end-of-year nonsense our friend group had been doing for nearly a decade. I almost didn't go. Work had been brutal, and honestly, I'd been feeling that quiet shift in my marriage for months. Nothing dramatic, just colder. My wife, Lena, laughed less at my jokes, touched me less, checked her phone more. Still, it was Christmas. I told myself I was overthinking. My best friend Marcus hosted every year. Big house, loud music, the kind of guy who slapped your back and called you brother like it meant something permanent. I brought the bourbon he liked. Lena wore a red dress I hadn't seen before. It fit too well, too deliberate. The party was loud from the moment we walked in. Music blasting, people shouting over each other. Someone already drunk before 8 p.m. Marcus hugged me hard. "Man, next year's gonna be huge for us," he said, grinning. Big moves. I didn't know what he meant. Lena slipped away quickly, saying she was going to find the girls. I stayed near the kitchen island, pouring drinks, talking about nothing important. Around 10:30, I realized I hadn't seen her in a while. I checked the living room, bathroom line, backyard. Nothing. I told myself she was upstairs chatting. Marcus's house had a guest room people used to stash coats. Then I heard it. Laughter. Soft. Breathless. From behind the closed door of his home office. I wasn't planning to open it. I swear I wasn't. But something in my chest tightened, like my body already knew. I turned the handle. Unlocked. The image hit me in fragments. Her red dress bunched at her waist. Marcus against the desk, her hand on his neck like she'd been there 1,000 times. For half a second, no one moved. Then she saw me, her face drained of color. "Wait!" Marcus stepped back, pulling at his shirt. "Bro, it's not..." I closed the door. Quietly. No yelling, no swinging fists, no broken furniture. I walked back downstairs, grabbed my coat, and left. My phone exploded 10 minutes later. Lena. "It was a mistake." Marcus. "Don't do anything stupid." Lena. "Please answer me." I didn't. I went home and sat in the dark living room, replaying the last few months in my head. The late gym sessions, the sudden arguments, the way Marcus had started coming over more often when I was working late. It wasn't spontaneous. It was ongoing. The next morning, Lena came home around 6 a.m. She looked wrecked, mascara streaked, eyes red. "I was drunk," she whispered. "You weren't drunk," I said calmly. "You were comfortable." She tried crying. She tried anger. She tried blaming me for being distant. I didn't react. That scared her more than if I had screamed. Over the next week, I did what she never expected. I acted normal. I went to work. I made coffee. I slept in the guest room. I didn't mention divorce. I didn't threaten Marcus. They both assumed I was broken. Instead, I was planning. Marcus and I co-owned a small investment property, something we bought years ago when we were still brothers. Rental income was solid. He trusted me with the finances because I handled numbers better. I requested a full audit, quietly. What I found was interesting. Marcus had been siphoning small amounts from the rental account for months. Nothing huge, just subtle transfers disguised as maintenance. Most people wouldn't notice. I did. I printed everything. Then I called a lawyer. While Lena begged for counseling and Marcus texted, "We need to talk like men." I gathered leverage. And then I found something even better. The Christmas party. Marcus liked gadgets. His entire house ran on smart security cameras, inside and out. He bragged about them constantly. He'd forgotten one thing: cloud storage. He'd given me shared access years ago, just in case while he was traveling. He never revoked it. The office camera angle didn't show everything, but it showed enough. Her pulling him in, him laughing. The timeline proving it wasn't a quick drunken accident. It showed familiarity, intent. I downloaded the footage. I didn't blast it online. That would have been messy. Instead, I scheduled a meeting. Marcus worked in corporate finance for a firm that had a very strict morality clause in leadership contracts. He was up for a promotion. I requested a private conversation with HR. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't dramatize. I simply explained that my business partner had committed financial misconduct in a jointly owned property and provided documentation. And then, when they asked if there was anything else relevant to his judgment and character, I provided the footage. Professionally. Dispassionately. 2 weeks later, Marcus was placed under internal investigation. The property dispute triggered a forensic audit. The small maintenance transfers turned into something much bigger under scrutiny. He called me in a panic. "What did you do?" he demanded. "I handled business," I replied. "You're ruining my life over a mistake?" I paused. "You ruined your own life over arrogance." Meanwhile, Lena sensed the shift, but didn't know the details. "Why is Marcus blowing up my phone?" she asked one night. "Probably stress," I said. The promotion he'd been expecting vanished. The audit findings escalated. Legal consequences followed. The firm didn't want scandal. They let him go quietly, but the financial misconduct wasn't something they ignored. When Lena finally learned the full picture, from Marcus himself, screaming over the phone, she went pale. "You reported him?" she whispered. "I reported fraud," I corrected. Her knees buckled slightly as she sat down. "You destroyed his career." I looked at her carefully. "He destroyed our marriage." Silence filled the room. Then she asked the question she'd been avoiding since that night. "What about us?" I slid the envelope across the table. Divorce papers, already filed. Her hands trembled as she opened them. "You planned all this?" "No," I said calmly. "You did." I just responded. The final blow wasn't loud. It was controlled. The rental property? The audit revealed enough mismanagement that I was able to force a buyout at a valuation far lower than Marcus expected. His financial strain made it impossible for him to fight. I walked away with full ownership. He walked away unemployed. Lena moved into a small apartment 3 months later. The friend group fractured. People chose sides. Some drifted away. Christmas came around again faster than I expected. No party invite. No red dress. No best friend. Just quiet. And peace. Sometimes people think nuclear revenge means explosions, public humiliation, viral exposure. They're wrong. Real nuclear revenge is silent. It's documentation, patience, timing. It's letting someone believe you're broken while you're building the ground beneath them. She cheated with my best friend at a Christmas party. They thought I'd lose control. Instead, I took control. And by the time they realized what I'd done, the fallout had already begun.